All right, the final fear we're going to discuss today, I think, is the most common fear of them all, and that is the fear of making grammar mistakes. All right, we're all afraid of making grammar mistakes, and why is that? Okay, if I just said before that, there's really no right or wrong in the real world. It's just, understand or don't understand or don't be understood. Why are we afraid of making grammar mistakes? Okay, well, of course we need basic grammar to be understood. Okay, I'm not saying it's not justified. Of course, it's very natural to feel afraid of that. But what are the other reasons? Okay, well, we have to think about our cultures. We have very test-taking type cultures where, when we take a test of anything, but particularly English or language, there's often a right or wrong answer, okay? And through these kind of tests that we take, we kind of develop this fear of making mistakes because if we make a mistake, our test score is going to be lower. And that's just a natural part of the system. What happens then is we become afraid to speak in the real world because we're afraid of making these same mistakes. Okay, now the reason why this fear is so destructive to people's learning and communication is because it often affects how you speak. Often when you feel afraid of making a mistake, you're going to, have breaks in your speech. Your pace is going to be off. Sometimes you're going to stop and start again, and it's just going to cause a lot of damage to your fluency and to your overall communicative effectiveness. And so that's why we've got to overcome this fear as soon as possible. Now, how do we do that? Okay, well, the most important thing is to know that making mistakes is part of the learning process. Let me say that one more time. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Okay? Now think about, for example, when you learn how to ride a bicycle. Well, of course, you had to fall a few times, right, before you could ride it. Or when you're a baby learning how to walk, you had to fall many times before you could walk. Okay? It's part of the learning process. Now, once you understand this, wouldn't you want to speed up that process to help reach your goal faster? So, in other words, make more mistakes. Okay? Keep making them faster and faster, and that'll truly speed up your learning process, and you'll reach your goal much, much faster. Okay? Now, if you try to be perfect every single time, that'll slow down your process. It is destructive to your process, in fact. Now, that's a natural tendency because that's the way we've been taught to think in school and in our classes. Okay? So I'm telling you now, I totally believe we've got to make mistakes frequently and often in order to speed up our learning process. Now, the other thing is we have to learn from our mistakes, of course. So we have to apply what we've learned to future interactions. Okay? We can't just keep making the same mistakes over and over. We have to learn from them. And the key is to make new mistakes, okay? And the more you keep making new mistakes, keep learning from them, applying them to your future interactions, I guarantee you the faster you will achieve your English goals. Okay, so here's your action plan for today's lesson. Number 1, always speak with confidence. Number 2, know that the listener wants to communicate with you. And number 3, make lots of mistakes and make new mistakes. Okay, so there's one thing I want to leave you with, and the good news about this is that it doesn't cost a thing. The only cost to you is changing your mindset. And everyone can do that. Everyone has the chance, has the ability to raise their level to English 2.0. So I want you to really think about these things and overcome these fears as fast as you possibly can. And we'll see you at Level English 2.0.